Vainglorious Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United front.
Tell it.
What you want, what you want, what you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when your square's solid and your circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick a can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K, 1K.
Hours. If I have not convinced you now, in spite of all of the efforts over all of these years to stop critical information about the enemy from being relayed on a grassroots level. If I have not convinced you by now, I will never convince you. After I left here in the last program, I listened to some of the commentary in regards to the 10 hours worth of information that I had presented here and in other places that was accessible to the people. The information, the best I can tell in lieu of any challenge to repudiate it, is beyond reproach. One's personal feelings about how they had to swallow or accept or listen to the things that I say in carrying those facts have found that it is not the convincing of the information that will make us move. The facts are irrefutable. But the enemy is so wise that it becomes the personality of the bearer of the information that stops the people from being the enemy that kicks them all day and all night. I listened to some of the laughter, and I thought, I felt so bad for the victims, because the leadership, I know, does what it must do so that it can contain and control the people from beating the specific honkies that got the money, the 0.1% of the population that controls 72% of the wealth. That 0.1% pays a lot of money to be protected, and it protects itself in some very, very subtle, unusual, and almost happenstantial ways. That happenstantial disengagement or disrespect of the knowledge is what our community has suffered from. If you watch I stand here and talk to you 5 hours about Cecil Rhodes, pick up philosophy, opinion, and there's Garvey on Cecil Rhodes. But you don't know Garvey for fighting Cecil Rhodes, because the leadership had to assure that he was not the subject. It's Du Bois versus Garvey. When it came down to Malcolm X, and Malcolm had kicked to the point of wanting to get at the jugular vein of the hunky, the last speech. It's not Elijah Muhammad. It's the international white power structure that's headquartered in New York, Paris, England, etc. And they were imperial, colonial remnants, and they continue. And he said it, but the last speech was stricken from the record by Spike Lee as incoherent, and the result was Malcolm versus Elijah. Every time the engagement comes, here is Coakley versus Amos Wilson. It's not Coakley versus the honky. Coakley gonna kill the honky. doesn't want to have to beat or abuse his own people for the privilege to kill the honky, because the honky gone. Nothing. No ridicule, no misstatements without documentation, no petty little frivolous little launcher that I heard on those tapes was the sickest thing I ever heard from a people with no force. You sit up and look at an election, and each and every time, I don't care if it's Dinkins, good, I don't care who it is, what they win. I don't care if it's the African group, the religious group. We have failed somehow to stop the honky. And all I ever want in life is the privilege to fuck him up. That's all I want. Now, if you're going to get in my way and I'm going to fuck up, I might end up having to fight with you on the way for the right to beat the honky. But I don't want to beat you. But I might if I have to. And I will accept the abuse and the disrespect of me and the information for the right to fulfill the mission. I am beyond the sensitivity of your opinions. It will not change the honky. He is advancing without hesitation. Look at the honky. It's the honky right here in the neighborhood. I was just in Boston last night. New York Times bought the Boston Globe, so it's the same honky. Colonialism is back and not a moment too soon. Anybody know anything about this article? Y'all read on this? Yeah, it was in the time. The show was, but they say that honky getting ready to take Africa. But ain't we got nobody on the shift called Africa? Ain't nobody on shift called Africa. religious point, political point, African point. But no, it's Coakley versus the brother. The honky advances. Honky say, nigga so confused I can tell him in his face. I'm gonna take his ass because he got people in place to assure that the analogy remains brother versus the brother. I know the strategy. I go all over this city just to face and the names who bear it change. If I had to pressure your ass tomorrow, the spy network in our community is so easily to find and to flush out, we could beat you and burn you in 30 seconds flat and prove you are.
No. I appreciate you Africans coming out to this conference so that we could advance your knowledge of information that hopefully a concern will allow you to be more effective in your desire to make change back in people. And whenever the brother Steve is given a call for him to share what it is that he knows, everyone knows from what angle, from what temperament, from what standard of fact base that the brother shares from. And this is what I'm known for, far more infamous than famous. In many cases, an analysis of the enemy will put you at odds with our leadership, because our leadership has failed to teach their members who the key honkies are that run the world, because they negotiate with them. And part of their effectiveness as a leader depends upon their ability to contain their membership. And one of the ways you do that is you skew one simple analysis: who will we be fighting against? And yes, like in the title, that is why there is confusion on the battlefield. Where I stand up and fight the Rockefeller Foundation, I question its right to build and fund a Constituency for Africa project. The Carnegie Foundation, the Ford Foundation, I condemn their to organize and fund a constituency for Africa, because any analysis of who adversely harmed Africa, you come Carnegie, Rothschild. But it's confusion on the battlefield. If C. Payne Lucas becomes the executive director, it's not to cover its own ass for some shame it produced. And now the perpetrator has financed the response to perpetration, which in fact suggests that's only continuation. I get in trouble when the analysis comes, because the whole set is dependent upon confusion in the battlefield. who are we fighting? You bring that up, someone will suggest to you, we already know who they are. They will. And you have to think carefully about what they say, because you're witnessing that thing that you're against. You will draw it out like golden seal. Like I got an abscess, a jaw swollen up over here, putting golden seal on the swelling to hope it sucks the pus right out. And that will happen when you start that level of focus on the enemy, because the leadership won't level with the membership. And that put me at odds with the leadership. They don't come to Coakley program, I don't care what city you're in, even though they damn need the lesson. Brother has invested everything he ever had to demand and command a better focus on who these people are, to fight our ability to influence more people till we have enough to make it. It will happen with you or without you. That's why we come in the spirit of the Boule. That's how they got it. That's how we're going to get it back. We're going to be factual, we're going to be right, but we're going to be strong, we're going to make change. And confidence is breathed through information. Knowledge. I know, therefore, shit, I'm going to go do this shit. A thermometer of capability suggested what I saw in New York at Billion Youth March. Let me know that though it isn't organized, the army will materialize at a moment's notice. Because the army is buried deep in the victim's heart. The victims are tired, but the leadership are the direct lesson. Yes, it isn't really their responsibility, but shit, you got to beat Newsweek. Time names them somebody special. The news makes them somebody